Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let me give a brief little review. In the last part, we had a number of things going on. Now, Deku and Atrig, these two underwent a session of dual cultivation, and this method of channeling essence to the other person, it is quite a unique and strange method. Now, it's very personal and it does leave the person's mind open to the other. Using this method, Atrig showed Deku what Druso Uzin used to be. A man who could be considered a paladin. A man who had a righteous heart. Who he tried to climb a mountain to fight to slay him. If he couldn't drive him free of the land, he would take his head back to a princess he had the eyes for. And then there was even the fact that this man, he was his mentor's mentor. Theodore, a man of power and strength, a man Deku has fought to a standstill and has surpassed. He is a champion of Granola. The place is his home. He stayed after his mentor passed. But Theodore, that big, strong man who trained him, he used to be a desperate orphan of war, one who was harmed and had the wings torn from his back. He was saved by that man, only to be taught how to grow those wings and fly again. The pieces were put back up and put together for him to carry on. He trained him so he couldn't be weak again. He let him have power and made sure it didn't corrupt him. And that was something Deku had trouble understanding. How a person like that could go off to war and then become the paladin. The man that Atrig saw. Now, shortly after this, Deku, he tried to gain his bearing on what to do. The plan of action currently was to head back to Bitopia and get Baku no Chaco awakened. Afterwards, deal with the Phoenix and Blob of Annihilation. Get them training and up to par on his level. That might take some time, but it should not be impossible. Zardith was getting the process started, and while that was happening, Deku decided to help further with the adamantine dragons, search the plains, and awaken those who've died. It will be quite the problem, but he does have a good idea as to where to start. Now, with that being said, Deku, he began that journey, and that was after he went back to Granola and dropped off some things he needed to. The dragons and the kraken he had sitting in his inventory for quite some time. And it's where Lillian tried to tell him about the event they may be dealing with soon. And Deku, he mentioned he might be able to make an appearance. Pop in, since it is an event where people, they want to somewhat scrutinize Lillian and Duress for exactly how they treated him. They think that it was very poor how they handled his situation after the event. But Deku, he wants to make sure they are aware. He still stands with Granola. He will stand by the country that took him in and have given him a home. Its people are nice. Its people are still worth fighting for. The kindness he's gotten here was far better than what he got in his previous life. Now, with that being said, let's cut to Deku. Deku, he's already talked to Lillian a bit more about the event that may be going down. And on his adventures in Bitopia, he has definitely been a little busy. The plains are not as peaceful as he believed. The area he was dealing with, It certainly was a sizable chunk of land the Kraken had under its control, and people knew not to mess with it. Don't go near the ocean and you're fine. Leave that for the domain of the sea creature. But then there was land, plenty of it. And creatures that did find their way to Bitopia, they were greedy for what they could. And Deku, he does currently go to wake up in a town, trying to think about exactly what to do. It's almost the anniversary. He's got some time, and it's still on his mind. Go visit. I mean, maybe go visit? It's hard to explain, hard to think about. He may not have time later if they get involved with another incident where they have to fight another devil or some sort of demon that's come to the plane. I mean, right now the worst fear is that they might find a lich, and he does have the spirit of one of those dragons resurrected. A Draco lich isn't something he really does want to fight at the moment. And that would kind of go against the entire point of their current mission. Deku, having these thoughts roll through his head, before Indra does a jab a claw down onto his chest. Her going to make Deku go from drawing his eyes to the ceiling to looking down towards her, asking him if he's thinking about the map. No, no, I'm thinking about visiting Pyra and Oliver. Oh, that's yeah. I haven't. I mean, I know where they are, but it's no. You don't have to go into detail, Izuku. I know, I know. Listen, if you want to go visit them, go for it. I'm sure her parents would be happy to see you. I'm sure they would be. Izuku, it wasn't your fault. I know, I know that. I just, I don't know what to say. You don't need to say anything. Visit. It'll come to you if you do want to say words. But you weren't there last year, but you were stuck underground. You know, throwing dragons over your shoulder. Oh, don't make me throw you over my shoulder. I mean, isn't that how we got here in the first place? Her trying to make him laugh. And he does go bring up a hand, grabbing her by the shoulder and then going to flip her over to the mattress. Before he does go to lean over her and talk about it. Right. They can have this fight again. Though you should go. Yeah. I mean, him going to sit back up and go to sit on the bed, talking about it. She's right. She is right. It's, gonna be happening soon. Bakugo's still recovering, and, I mean, apparently he's still out of it. Yeah, it'll be like that for a minute. Though, did he plane shift? I don't think he did. You got one of those crystals. I do, but Elza would have contacted me if he plane shifted. Apparently he didn't die, so that's something. Right. You know, you are crazy. You know that? You love me. The two going to talk a little bit more. And what they do to walk downstairs for breakfast, they do get met by the dragon siblings. Both of the two currently sitting there as Deku, he does get to order an entire cherry pie to consume. And Indra isn't too far behind, along with Izuku ordering a steak for his two dragons. And when the large slab of meat does come to the table, it does make an audible thump onto it. Deku turning as he does see a miracle that does explain some problems he had before. Right now, Aztoth and Little Wrath going to fly in, and both are the same size. The former pseudo dragon back to its original size when he first met it. And he does a watch as it does a crash its face directly down into the table, nearly biting through the plate as it does try to scarf down the large slab of meat as Deku does go to pat it on the side of its head, telling Aztoth to slow down. I mean, hell, is his appetite still the same? It turning, nodding its head as the piece of meat does go to wave around. And he does go to look at Little Wrath, who does try to bite through the chunks of meat it does have on its plate. And he does a glare at that before talking, turning and going to pat Aztoth on the head. Right. So, do they feel comfortable staying here while he makes a bit of a personal visit? Ah, are you going back to the regular plane? The material plane? And so far, yeah. I can meet up with you guys as soon as I get back, but it will take me a minute to find you. You should be alright. What do we have so far? 2 dragons alive? I don't think that's good enough, but it certainly does mean something. Yeah, well, there was that one that didn't want to return. It's not that it didn't want to return. There are certain laws to resurrection. It died a natural death. If not, it was already way too old whenever it died. I still don't get how that works. If it can just be brought back from the dead, then why is there a barrier? Because this is what separates it from necromancy. Necromancy animates the body. It doesn't care about the soul that was there. Though resurrection tries to call upon the soul to return. Without the soul, then it could be a husk. Or it could be something else. The dragon didn't want to return, and I'm not going to try and force a resurrection on that. Oh, I see. There's limits to magic. As much as people try to say that there isn't. Then again, that rule's been broken a few times. What do you mean? Deku going to hold up his wrist, and she does so somewhat to stare at the strange tattoos. Before Deku does express, right, he's got to leave the dragons with them. Though, he might check it on the event. If he needs to, he'll stay on the material plane. Though, he can try to bring back news about stuff if that sounds good with them. I'm looking around. And this is where the 3 do a nod. Indra talking about it. It could give them some time to chat about stuff. Like dragon stuff. Him going to roll his eyes. Talking about how they've been speaking dragon stuff this whole frickin' time. Them ignoring the looks people do to give them. And right now, Deku, he does go to grab the pie off the table and go to stand. Talking about how he'll be going now. Going to vanish. Now, Izuku, he does go to finish his breakfast on a mountaintop. Thinking about exactly what to do. The dragons are still there. They revived Latanth, or Latoth, and she was quite surprised that her brood survived. Zardith got to apologize, and she did not fault him for what he did. She did hold a little bit of anger, but seeing that her friend was trying hard to make up for this, it meant a lot. He became more proactive in everything, all these regards. The slumbering giant awake, and that it did bring a smile to her. And Deku, he even talked about it, reviving other dragons to continue on their legacy. And currently, let's cut over to Granala. Deku, he does go to appear. Right now, him going to look around and begin to walk around, making his way over and going to turn through a gate, stepping in as someone they do get to walk past. Right now, them in robes. And Izuku, he does go to walk over, turning and looking. A graveyard. He does find himself in a graveyard. He can get the sense of souls that may have had some unfinished business, though they've been put to rest. There's that eerie feeling in the back of his neck. Death. But without decay. That's what this place is. Him looking around. And eventually Izuku, he does go to turn, recognizing a familiar area and going over to it. Turning to the tree and going to walk 3 plots down and stare down, bending down to a knee and staring at the name. There's no body. There never was one. His family used the money he sent them to get him a spot, a place to come visit, talk to him. They know it's not, but it was the idea behind it. He always talked about wanting to become a big shot adventurer one day. And his mother warned him about a lot of things. He was crazy, stupid, and certainly pissed a lot of women off. But that was Oliver. That was his friend. A guy who was a brilliant ladies' man. But just as much as he was a good man with the ladies, he was a bad dude with them. Him, someone recalling a familiar story. One about the time he got a scar on his arm. And even another one about how he tried to fight this one orc chick's dad. And how well that went. Right now, him gonna somewhat laugh to himself a bit. Bring a hand up as a small magic circle does go to appear. And a small branch does go to raise itself up from the circle. It beginning to sprout out as it does go to sprout a flower. And Deku, he does get to pull his hand back, grabbing it out of the air and going to set it down, informing his friend. He wishes he was still here. He's got tons of stories to tell. Hello? Deku turning his head and seeing a blonde-haired woman. She does hold a small bouquet of... There's a kid on her shoulder. Her lowering the kid down and back into her arm, asking the man if he knew her cousin. Oh, you're not... Oliver spoke about you. Your father used to... with his dad, right? Sorry. You I'm what? Sorry. Um, I should introduce myself. I knew your cousin. I'm Izuku. You're the hero. You, you were there. Her face twisting in a little bit of horror. And Deku does get to see it on her face. Yeah, my name's Holly. This is my son. I named him after Oliver. That's nice. Sorry, I just, wanted to see him before I have to go back. I heard about you. You dropped off dragons at the guild hall the other day. That was a while back. It's still a hot topic in town. Yeah, him standing and expressing. He does have another place to go visit. It was nice to see her. If she ever needs anything, talk to Princess Lillian. The princess has given her regards to my family. No, tell her I sent you. Let her know it was me. I don't care if it's money, I don't care if it's a place to stay, or something else. Whatever troubles you, tell me. I'll help you. He was my best friend. It's the least I could do. Her nodding her head, before expressing, it's too much, though. They're set for life with what he gave them. And Deku, he does understand. Though when the woman is to watch Deku stand up and turn, he does get to vanish instantly. Her quite alarmed by that skill. Not sure if it was some sort of magic she's unfamiliar with, or if it was teleportation. But that one is what her mind does try to settle on. Her turning and going to set down the bouquet for her cousin. And Deku, he does it to find himself going to turn, staring out and seeing a massive tree in the distance. It's still there, still large. Right. He needs to get to the village. Him turning. However, he does go to fly up into the air, the draconic wings on his back. He does get to look around, finding the village and going to fly down. Before he does go to turn and look towards a building, recognizing it as the building her family does own. But the farm, it does look larger. It does look a lot larger. They must have hired people. Huh. The village is getting a bit bigger too. A few more years, this place could actually become a small town. This on his mind. Ever someone, they do to see a man walking down the road, they do to stare at him. Before Deku, he does a stop, turning his head and looking around. His eyes locking on a woman who does stare at him. And she does look at him confused, turning her head, thinking that he might be a tiefling. Though tieflings don't have glowing eyes like that. He's a dragon slayer. Wait. No, his face. Where has she seen that before? I know that woman. Him going to ask, Ely? And she just snap her attention back towards Deku. Right now, her alarm as the man is to approach her. And she's quite alarmed seeing that this is Deku. Before the two, they do try to talk a little bit. her understanding why he's here, though quite surprised he wasn't here last year. She is happy to hear that he broke his curse. And from what she can see of him now, yeah, he's still an adventurer. A powerful one at that. And there is where Deku, he is taken to the spot where Pyra, she was laid to rest. And he does walk over and stare at the wooden thing that does display her name. It's quite something. They didn't use a stone, but there is a small tree here. She's talked about these once. They don't grow too big, but they do produce a certain flower. They're more like bushes, but there's something else. They're beautiful, but the only other place that they can grow is on battlefields. Right. It's nice to see you again. I'm not cursed anymore. I've surpassed Theodore. I killed a few more dragons, believe it or not. Indra's still alive. Me and her are a thing now. Yeah, I don't believe it either. She was something else when we met her. Sorry I haven't been by to visit. I did fall down a large hole. Yeah. I'm better now. I'll try to visit some other time when I can. Right. I also married that one Fey princess. Oh, yeah, no, that's probably a shocker news. She, shit, I should go talk to her too, shouldn't I? That's what you would say, right? No, you'd be jealous. You would not be jealous. Right. Him going to stand. Turning as a man does go to stand in the distance, glaring at Deku as he's a turn. And he does a bow his head before he's looked back towards the ground. Him turning and going to walk off before he does that disappear from view. And the man, he does a walk over, making sure that the grave wasn't disturbed. From what he heard, Izuku was supposed to be in town, coming by for a visit. And whoever that man was, he shouldn't have been so close. Right now, him turning his head, though he does still think about it. If that was him, the boy certainly has changed. Now, Deku, he does start to play run around a little bit more. Him heading over to the Feywild to check in on Thela. And Thela, she is quite happy to see Izuku. Her going to talk about the event she's heard to celebrate his return. It's quite the thing in the East and the West right now, especially with the rumor he is trying to sell off dragon parts. You know, bids for magical items or anything that could be beneficial to him. Is your grandmother participating, Tila? I will be in attendance, and I do believe a few other people might be. Though, I'm quite shocked you didn't tell me about this yourself. I've been a little busy, though. How have you been? I've been a little busy myself. Her bringing a hand up, grabbing Deku's, and placing it to her stomach, talking about it. She had confirmation a few days ago, and she'd used magical means. From what she doesn't understand, it worked. Her giving him a genuine smile. It a little more mischievous. Though Deku, he also does see something behind her eyes he's not sure should be possible for a Fae. A glint of happiness, a glint of something that resembles it. Though he can also see a small amount of terror. He's seen that expression plenty of times in a ring, plenty of times on a battlefield. She is terrified as much as she is happy. Though, right now she's trying to hide it behind her attitude. However, Izuku does go stare at her. She does go to express. She can send out the invitation to some other people if he does not want her in attendance. I never said that. Though magic items or even deals could be on the table. I'm not saying no. We could make another deal. Though I do think you know what I want. I have no idea what you're talking about. Her draping an arm over his shoulder and trying to lean into his face. Her getting a kiss from Deku before he does go to bring his hands up, carefully wrapping his arms around her. And for a minute, he does try to think about this. He's building a life here. It may not have been one he used to envision for himself, but he's still building one. I mean, this is proof of it. The idea that he's going to be a father, a part of something larger than this. His birthday is in 3 months. He'll be 20 years old. 3 years of his life. What, a tenth? A ninth, an eighth, a seventh of it has been spent in this mythical world. And right now, this magical moment, it seems so normal. Something that, if he was back home, would probably have him sweating bullets. Terrified, his hands shaking, but his hands are so calm. Izuku? Him pulling away. Oh, sorry. Did I? Are you? I'm fine. Though, I do have one question. Yeah? How is Indra? Still in competition or still annoyed? She's not annoyed. Right now, she's in another plane. I gotta go back there because I'm working on reviving dragons. I've gotta find a few more. I see. Quite an interesting task. Yeah, it is. Though, what about you? What about me? You mentioned the event. Yes, it's gonna be quite large. Though, I'm shocked. About Princess Lillian. She's single, has had plenty of suitors, and from what I do understand, I believe you are accompanying her to the ball. The what? The event? People will be dancing, singing, and they are going to be trying to buy what they can. Though, do you really think it could escape my notice? What are you talking about? Izuku, darling, husband, you have a type. Type? I don't have a type. Indra's father resides over a land, and he rules it. Yeah, he killed a former king, and I see you're picking up on it. She's a princess. I'm a princess. Lillian is a pretty princess. Her poking him in the face, telling him he has a type, and she's not going to be jealous, especially if she does have family. It would be quite the political alliance. Two siblings, different worlds, you know, allied through their father and blood. It would be quite something to certainly solidify their bond as allies, bring them into the fold as family. I'm not. Lillian is. You're trying to get a rise out of me. Lillian is an ally. I'm not so sure of that. Are you not? I do believe that you have your own horde you're building. I'm sure that your human friend, would have said the same thing. What did he call it? We're not having this discussion. Certainly. Her tone getting a little bit more serious. And right now, Deku, he does go to nod before he said turn and step away from Thela, thinking about what to do. They're going to be there bidding for the parts of the dragon. Right now, he's got options. The Fae, the Archfey, she does still owe him a favor. Okay, but what could he use that for? He can get some sort of power, right? No, he has plenty of it already. I mean, him looking down at his own hand, thinking about it for a minute. If he wanted to, he could break adamantine with his own fist. He can crush coal into a diamond. He could part the sea, or raise it entirely out of the water. He could obliterate mountains with a punch or a thought, with a little bit of magic. He does still have points to spend. Destruction magic's at level 3. But if he does fight with it more, then he can raise it to new heights. With his Planeswalker abilities, that's basically level 6. So, if he does raise it up more, level up one more time, he can raise it up 5 more levels. Then what? Level 8 of the ability? Where does it stop? I mean, he saw what level 2 could do. Making it 5 times stronger? Yeah. An acolyte of destruction. He can already hear people trying to make a title for him. This thought going through his mind, though he does try to disregard it. Maybe something for Indra. That could certainly be something. Though he's fairly certain their rounds of dual cultivation have helped her out greatly in her current task. Now, Deku, he does go arrive back at Granala. Right now, him popping up into his room as someone they did a turn and recoil with a flinch. A loud scream happening as the woman does a crashing backwards. Deku moving to catch her as she does not fall. And the girl with horns on her head, she does go to glare at the man before Deku does step back and ask if she's alright. I'm fine. You have caught me off guard. You startled me. What are you doing in the castle? Um, I have to talk to Lillian. It's in preparations of the event. I see, yes. Well, I can certainly handle that. Um, Mr. It's me. I mean, this is my room. The woman nodding her head. Her trying to recognize Deku from what she doesn't understand and know about him. And it does take her a minute. Her running off as Izuku, he has a turn, walking over to his bed and going to turn, looking at a drawer, pulling it open, and seeing his old tracksuit, the one he was going to wear to UA, pulling his phone out of the pocket and going to begin powering it on, staring at this piece of technology that's way too out of place in this world. And Lillian, she has come walking to the room a few minutes later. Right now, her quite alarmed to see Izuku again, especially so soon. And he does a scroll on his phone. No service, the battery's at about 20%. Maybe try to look into. No, he's not going to try and use lightning to charge a phone. Maybe at level 1, maybe. What is that item? Her watching Deku turn with the phone. I've never seen a magic item like that. It looks like a light box. It's a phone. It works like the crystal and a thing that can take mobile paintings, along with a few other things. How so? Deku opening his gallery and going to scroll back through some old photos. And he does try to find one. It's gotta be here somewhere. Come on. Where is it? Him stopping on one. And it does a show Inko Midoriya and Izuku Midoriya. The two, they do just want to sit there. The photo looks a little plain. But to Lillian, it looks completely foreign as a concept. Her glaring at his Deku does talk about it. Right now, him turning the device off and putting it back in his inventory, since that might be the safest place to keep it. It's a long story, and I say that a lot. The event. Yes, the event. We should go over a few things. It will take some time, but with certainty, I do believe that everything can go properly. Your presence is already going to be known, but we should go over a few things. Like, well, for starters, there is Grunala's reputation. After what's happened, we need to make a bit of a statement. I'm sure I can work something out. What do you mean? Well, these are all nobles, right? They are. Good. They're expecting to be able to show off their wealth. Expecting to show off different things about themselves. If they are expecting Granala to still be suffering from their reputation with me, then let me be the one to make a statement. I'm certainly well liked among the adventurers. People, they do like the stuff that I do sometimes. They thought I was crazy before making Ash-rank monsters, what's the right word for it? An easy thing? Yeah. there was that. Now I'm almost 3 times as strong. Deku going to bring up an arm, talking about it. Though, maybe he should really be saying 6. I see. You're trying to show off. That's what they're trying to do with their wealth. Listen, in the Underdark, we had to deal with similar things in the Colosseum. If it's the same way, it's a stage, or it's a show, I guess, then yeah. I'm expecting it to be like that. You're not entirely wrong. It is supposed to be a display of power. Then let me display power. Of course, people already know I brought in the dragons to sell, and that will cause a mighty amount of money to come in, if not magical items like what I do want. So, if you let me handle all of this, you take care of the money, all that stuff, I can try and deal with the reputation. You're serious about this? I am. Listen, I know Granola a little bit. These are your people, and you don't wish to look weak in front of them. Right now, let me handle this, Lillian. King Solomon needs to rest, like you said. Speaking of that, maybe I should go see him. We've tried magics to cure him, but his illness is not. It's not working. Really? Yes. I fear he may pass. He's quite old, Izuku, and my grandfather, he's more human than elf. I see. I'll see what I can do. If I can. Though, I'm not gonna make any promises. But, I guess I should find some good clothes then. To go in? Yes, along with fine things to adorn your hair. Adorn my hair? You follow one of the old customs for warriors. Uh, Braiding your hair as a sign of status? Tell me, do you still have those? I do, they're in my inventory. Though I guess I got a bit more. Um, Dragons, Theodore, elements. Yeah, I guess I do got a lot more. Now that I'm actually thinking about it. Ah, good. Well, I can help you get that all sorted out, and once you do go that way, then we can certainly get things planned out. We need you to wear something good, but make sure that you look classy. Fashionable? No, that may not work. Let me handle that. Her looking at Deku a bit skeptical. And right now, Deku, he does try to get things planned out. Him going to head out to his store and come back. Right now, him going to pop back up in Bitopia as Indra and all of them, they do go to currently sit there around a campfire. And Deku, he does get to turn his head looking at the cottage chest that is turned into a house. And he does a step forwards, beginning to approach it. Him making his way into the bubble and going to walk over to the door, pulling it open with a massive bag on his shoulder, asking exactly if anyone's here at all, or if he's just speaking to an empty damn house. And people do come jumping up, running out to greet him as he does get to talk about it. Right now, him going to pull Indra into a massive hug. And she does get a smile. Her trying to talk to him about what happened, and he does get to tell her about it. He went to go see Oliver. He went to go see Pyra. He ran into her sister. And he even went to go see Thela. You went to go see her? I did. It's. It's what? Um. She's got a bun in the oven. Oh, I see. Congratulations. Both of them turning to Diso, who does gonna bring a hand up. Before their ears are Halsey does go to elbow him, ducking the ribs. Him going to hit the ground as she does a look at him. And Deku does talk about it. Yeah. But he did have an idea. He does still have a favor owed to him by the Archfey. So what if he gets her to make a deal with her for magic? You do that? Yeah. Listen, I know there's something you want. Some sort of magic power, right? You have plasma magic you're still working on. And when we sell the dragon parts and all that stuff, we'll get magic items and scrolls and grimoires from there. We can work on other forms of magic. I see. There is one thing I do want. Her smiling. And Izuku does go to lean forwards, telling her, well, don't hold back on his account. No, I'll make it a surprise for you. A surprise? After what I just told you, I don't think I deserve that. Listen, if you guys can just take the day off tomorrow. I've got to head out with the princess and go to a whole boring party. Though, him turning, glaring over to Astoth, who does currently lay there on the couch. Him going to have his tongue hanging out while he does lean over the side. Him walking over and picking up the small dragon, talking about it. He just loves that spell, doesn't he? Astoth gonna chirp out in Deku's face. Yeah, he knows. Listen, would they like to come to him? Look, would they like to come with him to a fancy party? There'll be food and maybe even people to scare. How does that sound? Yes, party. It sounds nice. Food? A lot of food. A lot of food. I can make sure you get plenty of it, buddy, okay? Little Wrath is going to come with us too. And that is going to be for another simple little reason. No one knows what he is. Really? Will I have to share? No. But if you're on your best behavior, I can make sure to find you something very good to hunt. How about that? Ooh, yes. Sounds fun. Desert? Giant scorpion. Spicy. They're only spicy because of the poison. Okay, fine. Though, I think you might like trying to hunt a purple worm. No. Indra interjecting. He is not letting Astoth hunt a purple worm. Only a small one. No. I still think he would not have a good time with that. He has lightning magic. And ice. Deku turning back to the dragon. When did you get ice? I don't know. Him staring at the dragon. Quite surprised at that. Ice magic? When did he learn ice magic? Are you messing with me? The dragon not going to make H sound. It chirping out as Deku does stare at it, expressing, I can't try to get out of this. Answer the question. Does he actually have ice magic? Right now, little Wrath flying into Deku's face. And he does get a turn trying to think about what to do. He can spend the night here and then leave tomorrow morning, and that it is on his mind. Him and Indra heading to bed as there is the next morning. He does go to have breakfast with his party members, and they do go to leave. Right now, him watching them pack up the cottage chest as they all do to manifest draconic wings on their back. Deku taking the two dragons that are currently on his shoulders and going to walk to the material plane. Arriving in Granola as Princess Lillian, she has been worried about the arrangements. And the party, it does going to begin a little bit of time later. Rhino nobles do begin to show up at a very prominent kingdom. And they have begun to make their entrance. Some, they are carried in by large golems. Some to fly down with magic, using elements or spells to carry themselves. Some on platforms, and some on even carpets. They do try to one-up each other. Though, whenever someone does get to come on a horse-drawn carriage by actual unicorns, that one's a little hard to one-up. Especially upon closer inspection, when that carriage does have real gold fitting it, it does certainly mean something. And the party, it has began to go off. Some people talking around each other with a bit of a circle, and some even commenting about the entrance of the people in the carriage, before there is the sound of loud flapping of leathery wings, and a lot of people do to make their way over to the windows as someone does a shout out for a dragon outside, and someone they're even going to shout that a red dragon's been seen, and to protect the nobility. As someone they do come running outside, the creature flying down to land as it is a land on the balcony. And a lot of them, they do just stare at that. Right now, the man looking up to see someone on its back. Deku leaning forwards and raising up one of his hands, shouting for them to stop. As Reno Astoth does lower himself down and go to allow the princess to slide off. Her in a beautiful purple gown with gems adorning her hair. And right now, Deku, he does get to sit there. Right now, he does wear a kimono. Him with the white Quaggoth pelt on his shoulder. And people do to stare at him. A man who does have a shaved face. A well braided hair. He's a warrior. He's following the warrior custom. And some do watch as a small creature does a fly off of his shoulder. Deku turning and stepping forwards, patting the large beast on its snout and informing him. He's done well. Now, how about he does go to shrink back down? Him holding up his arm and whistling. And the dragon, it does go to begin glowing with magic, shrinking down and landing on Deku's forearm. Before it does go to run up his shoulder and begin to nuzzle into the pelt since it is nice and warm. And someone, they do to glare at that. Before Deku does get a turn. Rhino him going to have the other dragon fly over and land on his other shoulder. Rhino it letting out a purr as its tail does a wag. And everyone, they do to stare at the two who just showed up. That is Princess Lillian of the Duress Empire. And Deku does a turn, stepping forwards and expressing. Right. He's sorry that they're late. That's on him. He hasn't been here before. He's still getting accustomed to their strange lands they do have here. He hasn't been this far east in a while. He's Izuku Midoriya, or as many of them know him, going to bring up his hand to his chest. The hero of Granala. It is nice to meet all of them. And some people do to fall silent, since the hero of Granala, a man they thought to be dead, just showed up with a princess. And they were riding a fucking dragon. Now, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.